Hi guys, Lori here with So At Peace. Today we are in Mesa, Arizona for the holiday market and we are on day 2. So it has not been a very good market. Yesterday I only had 3 transactions, so it was Black Friday. So I'm hoping traffic was just due to people out shopping at the big commercial retailers. I'm not sure. There was quite a bit of foot traffic in here, but just not a lot of people buying. So I'm hoping that today will be a lot better. And I don't know how much footage I'll get, but I'm going to try to show you guys some footage. So I'll give you a quick tour of my booth. So my booth setup isn't exactly how I would like it. I do have a couple of new things in here, but I didn't bring my pegboard because my pegboard is massive. It's an indoor event, but they still required us to bring a tent. And anytime I bring a tent, it just takes up so much room in my car. And I try to bring everything in one trip, especially since it's over an hour away. Those are lip balm. Hi guys, it's 2 o'clock and I have had 5 transactions today, so it's not a very good day. Again, day 2, so I haven't been able to film very much footage just because I haven't had a lot of activity in my booth. So yeah, it's kind of depressing, but I still haven't made my booth fee back. So we only have 2 hours left of the market. So I'm hoping I will at least make a little bit more than my booth fee. Not likely, but we'll see what happens. I'm hoping that my market next weekend will be a lot better. So that one is in Tempe. It's a huge market. I think they expect like 50,000 people there, so it should be a lot better. So I will update you guys again later today. Hi guys, so I am back. Today is Tuesday of the weekend after the market. So I did not finish out the market vlog just because it was so slow and I didn't have enough content. Like there weren't enough people coming in and out of the booth. So needless to say, it was a really bad market for me. So there was a lot of foot traffic, but just not a lot of people coming into my booth. So I think there were 300, let me see. Okay, there were like 234 vendors at the market. So that's just all the indoor vendors. So I'm assuming the count is higher for the outdoor for the outdoor vendors, like the food vendors, but that's how many were inside, was 234. So it seemed pretty busy. There was a good amount of foot traffic, but just not a lot of people coming into my booth and buying. Like I had people coming in that, said they sew and that kind of stuff, which, is typical. People usually do that. And I enjoy talking to those people, but they usually don't buy anything. And overall, it was just not a good market for me. So sometimes, that happens. Sometimes a market is good for you and sometimes it's not good for your business. But one thing that I did notice when I walked around on day 2 on Saturday is there were 2 other, so I was on one end, there were 2 rows of vendors. There were several rows in there. I can't remember how many rows there were, but it was pretty large. So I didn't get to walk through the whole market, but just the 2 rows that I went into, there were 3 of us that sold handmade sewn items. So they weren't all the same. One vendor had like rice heat packs and something else. I can't remember what the second thing was. And then the other person, she sold more vinyl bags. So she has really beautiful vegan handbags. So that's what she sold. And then she also had a good amount of trash cans. So I think she makes the trash cans out of like a canvas of some sort. I can't remember the material, but I'm pretty sure it's a canvas. Really cool. I looked on her website. I didn't see any at her booth, but on her website, she has the cutest little pin cushions. They hang on the edge of your table, and they have a pin cushion, and then they have a little basket to catch your thread. So I will give you guys the handle down in the description so you can check out her page too. She has really beautiful stuff, and I did talk to her for a little bit, and I like talking to people that do what I do because it's just interesting to get a different perspective on things. And especially if they're at the same market as you, it's good to find out, you know, what their thoughts are on the market, how it's going for them. And her display was so beautiful. She had a really pretty booth display, and I don't know why it was bad for me. I think my vendor booth display was not my normal display. It was pretty similar, but I didn't bring pegboard because the pegboard is so massive to get into my car. And I think that helps to sell the little things like the lip balm holders. Scrunchies are hit or miss. And my wristlets I put up there. So it's nice to see everything out and up high. So that could be part of it. Also, my tent was a little bit dark. So I should have taken off the tent cover. I see people doing that to allow more light to come in. And I did not do that. To be honest with you, I had food poisoning or stomach flu. I don't ever know what the difference is, but I had that on Wednesday night. So Wednesday was setup day. And then as soon as I got home, I started feeling sick. And sure enough, all through the night, I was not feeling well. And the next day on Thanksgiving, I was not feeling well. I hardly ate anything on Thanksgiving, which really is terrible because I love Thanksgiving. And yeah, so I don't know if my energy was off. I'm sure it was off because like I said, I just wasn't feeling well, and I could have been a little bit more engaged. But, like I said, I really didn't have a whole lot of people coming in and out of my booth. So I'm limited on what I can do. And one thing I forgot to mention as well is that I had spoken with other vendors, and they also said that their business wasn't doing that well. So Saturday, I noticed that one space was empty between a couple of the booths down on the same row that I was on. And I asked my neighbor if they noticed if there was somebody there the day before, because I didn't really walk around at all on Friday. Like I said, I wasn't feeling well. She wasn't sure. So then I went to the neighbor by the empty space, and I asked her if there was somebody there the day prior, and she said there was. So they had left. They left before Saturday. The only thing that I'm assuming that they also did not do well on Friday. That's why they left. I know sometimes some people do that. So that could be a reason, or maybe they had a family emergency. I don't know. But, after speaking to other vendors, I think it was just that people weren't doing as well as they normally do, or as well as they expected. So it's always a little bit comforting when you know that you're not the only one not doing well. So my booth fee for this event was $300, and I made $400. So that's $100 that I didn't have before technically, but technically the $100 maybe covered my gas and materials for the products that I sold at best. It was an hour drive there, an hour drive back. So one day for setup, and then Friday and Saturday. So that does not include my time to go over there. Doesn't include anything really. It was just a horrible event. I wasn't even going to post this or finish out this video, but I thought I'd give you the ins and outs of being a market vendor. And sometimes, things just don't work out for you. So that's just the way it goes, and it sucks. But if you have been a vendor for a while, you know that this is just part of it. Sometimes you have good markets and sometimes you have bad markets. So this one unfortunately was bad for me. I had high hopes for it just because of the price point and it being a holiday market, and it sounded like it was going to be a very large event. It just was not a great market for me. So I am in the middle of starting market prep. Well, I started yesterday, so I don't really have a whole lot to do. I'm just adding a couple more products to my inventory. So I'm working on Bible covers today. So that's something that I've been wanting to add to my shop. So I'm just gonna make a handful of them. We'll see how much I can whip out. And then I'm also gonna make some iPad sleeves. So that's something that people ask for a lot. So usually when someone asks me for something, I try to get it in my shop. I do have my large book sleeves that do fit an iPad, but they are kind of large for the iPad, which I think I've explained in another video, but I'd really like to make something similar to what I made for myself. The only thing I'm gonna do different is not put handles on the iPad sleeves. The iPad sleeves that I made for myself don't have the handles. I only did the handles for my daughter just because she is always taking it back and forth from my house to her dad's house. So I thought that would be beneficial for her, which she loves it. So anyways, well, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'm going to work on a Bible sleeve market prep video. So that should be my next one. And my big market that I have coming up is this weekend. So setup is on Thursday and the market is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So fingers crossed that this market does better, and I hope that it makes up for the market I had last weekend. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a like and subscribe, and I hope you have a joyful and peaceful day.